Good morning. I did a shot of apple cider vinegar, and it was the grossest thing I've ever done. But I feel like it might have given me more energy. Thank you for the love bear and the 100 and the pumpkins. Hello, everybody coming in. Guys, remember during a featured show, unfortunately, I cannot converse one-on-one with you, as my intention is here for my guests. So thank you for gifts, thank you for favorites and all that fun stuff ahead of time. I'm going to give people a couple of minutes to get here, and then I'm going to get Jay in the box. We'll do the introduction. Where's the rest of my stuff? And then I believe he said that we're going to have Wild West needed to go first. Hello, everybody, and welcome. Wild West, did you need to go first, love? Thank you for the cherries. Hi, everybody. What the heck? S, hello. Hey, listen. Okay, that's fine with me. I just wanted to make sure so that we get you in first. So about 10:08 to 10:10 is when I'll have you hop in the box. Excuse me. No, when you show it, I've got the two that it could be. So where the heck is my thing? Hi, Lions. Hi, everybody. Guys, if you're just joining, this is Lessons Learned. I'm giving folks a couple of minutes to get here. And then once everybody is here, well, not everybody, but a few more people are here, we're going to do the introduction, and then we are going to do the Q&Q. And then, guys, remember, in the middle of the guests, we do a little self-care, self-love segment. So tune in for that, because I'm going to promise y'all right now, most of y'all don't have enough self-care, self-love going on, okay? I don't think a lot of you guys understand and realize the importance of it. I know we've got a couple of good topics to talk about today. They'll certainly give you a shock. All right, guys, it's 3 after. Let's get Jay's introduction here. If I'll let him in the box. There it goes. Oh, man. Oh no, Jay! Oh no, Jay! Freezy, thank you again. Y'all, Freezy hit 2 of the monster truck bonuses on me earlier, even though we're not supposed to talk about gifts. I was like, what? No way. So top badge protection is almost in order, thanks to Freezy. And everybody, oh, come on, big dragon. Vroom, skeet. Thank you, S. All right, you guys, I missed the Q&Q because it froze. I know it's either you can never plan the future by the past or follow your inner moonlight. And I think that it's this one, right? Top badge secured. Thank you, guys. All right, so you can never plan the future by the past. What goal from your past has changed in the present? Wait, oh, it is this one? Oh, okay, then hold on. I lied. Follow your inner moonlight. Don't hide the madness. What's something you've always wanted to do in the middle of the night, or just something that you've always wanted to do? I want to skydive. I want to scuba dive. I want to travel and leave the country. I want to see Australia and the coral reef. Oh my God, there's so many things I want to do. You were never skinny dipped? What kind of life do you live in Florida? Run around naked and jump in a lake. Run through the mall naked. What's it all y'all want to run naked? Don't you always run around your house all naked? The next Florida Man story. Best that's with the beer, of course. Oh my God, guys. No, but seriously, there's got to be something other than running around naked that you guys want to do? Is there like a business change? Is there a new position at work? Is there a place you've never been to? Any of this stuff. Hello, everybody coming in. Thank you for the gifts, guys. Thank you for the favorites in advance. There you go, River, working on music. There you go. There you go. You want to travel? Okay, okay. Yeah, I think I'm about actually leaving the country. You know what I mean? Like, I've never left the US of A. Never. I've never even been to Canada. And I'm in Ohio. So it's not like Canada's far. It's like just on the other side of the river. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining us. If you guys are just tuning in, welcome to Lessons Learned. Just here in about 2 minutes, we're going to introduce Wild West, and we're going to let him share his topic with all of you. I see Kelly down there. Good morning, gorgeous. There you go, Beth. Unfortunately, guys, I'm not able to communicate one-on-one. If you want to smash that star up top, you can come back and we can chat after the show. Okay. Make sure you guys are favoriting the guests. It takes a lot to make yourself vulnerable in this guest box today. So there will be zero bullying and zero negative comments tolerated, and anything disrespectful and you're going to be removed, because I just don't tolerate it. We're adults, and if you can't respect me, I shall not return the favor. And I'll just remove you. And that's just how we work over here. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So Wild West, are you ready? Are you ready? Request that box when you're ready, guys. Again, this is Lessons Learned. We meet here every Friday morning, 10 to 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we discuss a lesson life has taught us. We are not professionals. We are not professionals at all, okay? But we've been through some things that we feel will inspire / motivate you to do better, or to see that you're not the only one that's faced these types of issues, and that you can succeed and put them behind you. And something, as I'm letting Wild West into my box, I want all of you guys to remember is that every single one of us sitting here right now has survived 100% of our bad days. So yes, sometimes life gets hard, but we're here to hopefully help you realize that we can get through it together. Well, Wes, thank you for being on my show. How are you?
Good. How are you, Silly?
I'm doing very well. Thank you for asking. So let these folks know, what is it that we're going to be talking about today?
I was kind of talking about playing victims, right?
Okay.
I grew up, yes. I grew up with a sister that had a big drug problem. She's no longer with us now, but I always
I'm
played a
sorry.
victim. I always played that card that, the world was against her. Everything was against her, and really having those conversations, sitting down with her, trying to. I was the only one that didn't give up on her throughout. My family all gave up on her, all that, but it's really, if you don't want it for yourself, nobody's going to give it to you.
Yes. Yes. I this one hits home, and I'm glad this is why I ask you guys in advance what your
Yeah.
topics are, because I had my issues in my 20, very similar to your sisters. And I was very angry at everyone for nothing, because I hid all of my problems. I masked all of my problems instead of facing them and conquering them, and like I call it shelving them, putting it in my past, right? Like, you don't have to forget, but you got to forgive, let go, and move on. So I can relate to the blaming everybody for your problems, because I was that person. Sorry. Let me go shut my door. Oh my God. Wild West, go ahead and start talking while I shut the door.
Yeah, that kind of threw me off, Silly.
Okay, so as a person on the other end of this, when was it that you realized that she couldn't, I guess, take responsibility for her own actions, and how did you go about trying to help yourself with that? Because you can only help somebody who wants the help. right? So as
Correct.
somebody who loves somebody who's on, who's struggling, what did you do for like yourself, right? To help, because that can't be easy to watch somebody go through that.
Well, to give you a little history on it, I grew up with a single mom, right, that was going to school, working, and trying to take care of two kids, right? So I basically raised my sister, right? It was like my child. So that's the back history on it. As we grew and she kept getting into drugs and drugs and drugs and drugs, my family took her in at their house and she pawned everything in their house, including a lawnmower,
See, I never
right?
did. Oh my
You can't hear me?
God. I can hear you okay.
Okay.
I'll tell you if there's problem.
Yeah.
Ignore the chat. The chat sometimes likes to, I don't know, just I'll let you know. I'll let you know if there's an issue though.
Okay. Yeah, including lawnmower. My parents gave up on her, so I was the last person to take her in. She came in to my house. Well, I was out of town, and I had two kids in that house at that time. I was married at that time, and two little girls. My sister stayed at my house when I was out of town, and my wife at the time called me and said, "Hey, there's all these toothpicks and aluminum foil in a room," and I'm like, she's smoking crack in the house with two children. And if you know anything about crack, crack looks like a piece of sugar. And you're talking about a 6-year-old and an 8-year-old that see a piece of candy. What do you think they're going to do? They're going to pick it up
Well,
and put it in their mouth, right?
yeah.
Um, so I had a drug dog come in there, sniff out, and actually put her into jail that night. That was extremely hard.
Yeah.
Um, Ended up she got out of jail. I thought that was going to change her. I thought she was going to go to rehab, all that. Ended up coming to my house, stole my gun, committed, robbed two hotels. Yeah, crazy stuff. Ended up getting caught. She ended up having 15 felonies of doing that. Spent years and years and years in prison. And I thought that would help her. So when she finally got out, I took her in and helped her try to get her up on her feet and things of that nature. And she went right back to it, right back to the drugs. And then to a point where I had to disown her. I couldn't put my family through it. I couldn't, you know, and she died last Christmas of the drugs. Yeah.
I think the hardest part in these kinds of situations is that who your sister is deep inside. You know your sister
Correct.
before the substances, right?
Correct.
And for those of you that don't know a whole lot about substances, um, they change who you are. They make you do things that normally you wouldn't do for your addiction. Um, they control your entire life while you use. When you are a user, your entire life revolves around those substances or that substance, whatever it is. So for me, as somebody who didn't want to continue living that kind of life, I sought the help out. I got help I needed. Okay. I've been honest with you guys, and I've told y'all my 20s, I was a disaster. I was an entire old SHIT show. Okay. Like within my own world. And I think the hardest thing for me is seeing people who are going through what I went through and knowing that there's not a dang thing that I can do about it.
Correct.
Because if they themselves don't want the help, there is literally not a damn thing in this world you can do to make them stop. The only way they're going to stop is if they want that more. Sure, someone can temporarily stop because of probation or because they got arrested or whatever. But in order to remain living a healthier lifestyle, they have to want that. It has to be their choice, not yours. So, Wild West, that leads me to my next question for you. So, I guess, what advice would you give to somebody who wants to help somebody going through a substance abuse problem, an addiction, whatever you want to call it? What advice would you give to somebody that wants to help?
Comes to a point where you just have to give up on them. I mean, it comes to a point because I did everything. I paid for programs for her. I got her counseling. I did everything I could for her. But like you said, silly, they don't want the help. There's
Yeah.
nothing that those drugs, and
So
that's why I'm
so
not around
can
anybody that does that stuff.
can I change a couple words for you?
Sure, sure.
I will never give up on the people that I love. So I'm not going to say give up on them. But you cannot spend all of your money for them to go to rehab if they don't want it. You cannot allow them to be in your home if they're doing substances around your children, right? You can't have that stuff. You have to have your limits and you have to have your boundaries. But simple text messages every day, hey, thinking about you, love you, proves
Right.
to them that there's somebody out there for them to get better for. Because when you're on these substances, you guys, you feel alone and you feel like everybody hates you because of the things that you do. So you cannot exhaust yourself to a point to where you're losing things, your kids are in danger, yourself is in danger, or anybody else that you love gets put in danger. But you have to, and I still my son is not speaking to me. My son is going through some crap. But every once in a blue moon, I'll send him just a smiley face or just anything in a text message so that he knows, even though we're not talking, I'm still here for him. I don't
You're
get a
still thinking
response.
about
I
them.
get
Yep.
ignored. So I'm not going to say, guys, that you have to give up on people because that's what they're most afraid of. However, you have to stop enabling them to continue with what they're doing. You have to let these people hit their rock bottoms before they're going to grow up. You can't cure a sick person. You know what I mean? And then that's what an addiction is. It's a disease. And there's ways to get through it, but they have to want it. Does that make sense? Because when you say give up, I feel like if I was to say, Wild West, I can't believe you do this stuff, I'm giving up on you, that destroys a piece of me because I care about you, because I love you. Like, you didn't give up on her, you just stopped enabling her. So I want you to know that if anybody's been in this situation and you guys stopped enabling them and something tragic happened, that's not your fault. You protected yourself, I guess, is where I'm going with this.
You're absolutely right. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay. So I get to talking and I'm long-winded. I'm sorry. There's
You're
probably
fine.
shorter, easier ways I could say some of this stuff, but yeah, I would like to make sure that from somebody who's been through things, Wild West, thank you for being there for her. And it means more to her than you'll ever know. I could guarantee that. Unfortunately, she couldn't find her way herself, you know, but y'all just remember it's not y'all's fault. These are personal choices that a person makes. You know, you make a mistake once, okay, you make a mistake twice, whatever, but after that, it's for sure a choice. And you can't make people choose to be happy. You can't make people choose to change. Yeah.
So,
So,
family trying to do everything, and you just can't do anything.
yeah. And like it's a tough situation to be in, Wild West, and I'm sorry you had to go through all that, but thank you for doing what you could, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. It gives new insight too on trying to help and trying because I've been through it, right? And right now I work for a children's hospital, and we see these kids come in with these drugs or things of that nature, right? And it gives you a
Mhm.
different perspective on how to approach it.
Yeah,
I'm not coming in innocent, right? I've been
yeah,
around it. I've seen it. So, you know,
yeah,
it really does help. It helps. It helps how you cope with things later on in life when
yeah,
you see those type of things. Yep.
yeah. I agree. Yeah, and it's an unfortunate part of the world that we're living in right now. The
Right.
opiate pandemic. You
Oh yeah.
know, I I I've I've lost a lot of people to to that. I don't know if I'm allowed to specifically say things, but I lost people that I grew up with. When I lost them, I wasn't close with them because I chose to change my lifestyle and they chose to continue. And for those of you who might be struggling with substances, okay, I need you to understand something. It's okay to not be okay, but it's not okay to dwell there. It's not okay to sit in that spot. You've got to reach out to somebody. I don't care if it's somebody that's in your family. I don't care if it's a therapist, a psychologist, but you guys, the best thing I ever did for myself was as hard as it was, my first step was admitting I had a problem.
Correct.
Okay. Yep. After that, it was forgiving myself and then forgiving others. Because, and I say forgiving others, not because of what I was doing, but because that's what made me angry. And I was never taught how to properly release emotions, correct? Right? Like I buried them, you know, it was always sit down, shut up, be quiet, sit down, shut up, be quiet, sit down, shut up. So I very, very quickly as a teenager learned that if I yell really loud, I get everybody's attention. Because no matter how much I talked, nobody ever listened. But but after you're 18, I hate to break this to you guys, but at 18, you're considered an adult. Okay. So at that point, you now have the ability to make choices and decisions for yourself, which means you can get help to get through your childhood trauma. There's ways to go around it. But biggest thing, guys, is if you're trying to get through a substance, you can put it as a part of your past. You've got to seek the therapy. And first and foremost, forgive yourself. And that's hard. That's hard to do.
And make yourself vulnerable, right? Definitely make yourself vulnerable.
That's you have to be open and honest.
To do. Yep.
You have to be, because otherwise you're not facing the problems. You're still masking them. And as long as you're masking your emotions, you're going to feel the need to use more than you should. You know, but if you just ball it out, yeah, it's going to hurt for a little bit. It's going to sting because you're bringing it back up. But once you process it, the weight on your shoulders, like I walked around like this for years. Like, I don't even know how I don't have worse back problems, because all the weight was on my shoulders all the time. And every time you talk about something, you know, I could sit up a little bit straighter. My shoulders came up. And now I'm like, hey, wait. Oh, wait, they even rotate? Like, what? You know, but it's it sucks, because usually, you know, the people that are using are hurting, and you can't do anything to stop it.
And trying to figure out what caused that hurt, right?
But you can't, and I can't. The user has to. Only person that knows is the user.
Right.
And they have to be strong enough, and they have to want to get better. And unfortunately, tough love is the best situation, because until a person hits their rock bottom, they're not going to change. Now, your rock bottom might be you didn't pay rent this month and now you're freaking out. Someone else's rock bottom might have to be like a severe, and I hate to say it this way, but like an accident or something, you know, where they get hurt. Like, everybody's rock bottom is different. Sometimes it's homeless. Sometimes it's, you know, some women have to lose their family before they're able to get the help to realize, right? But it all boils down to you cannot enable them. As somebody who loves them and as somebody who is a user, they have to want it. You cannot force them. I can't say that enough. I know I've repeated that a lot, but unfortunately, we can't force people, just like nobody can force you to do something you don't want to do.
Correct.
Yep. You know? But guys, if you're just tuning in, welcome to Lessons Learned. We're talking with Wild West here about having somebody that you truly care about stuck on and having an addiction with substances, and how difficult it is, no matter what you want to do to help them, and no matter how much you love them, and no matter what you're willing to give, they still have to want the help. And that's kind of what our whole discussion is today. So I guess, Wild West, is there, this question might be hard to answer and you can skip it. But as somebody in your shoes, what would you tell somebody who's maybe struggling with substances right now? Like what is something maybe you wish you could go back and tell your sister that
I, that's a very very hard question.
mm-hmm,
Very hard question. And I don't think there's truly any right answer to it because people are different. You know, what triggers you may not trigger me, right? I really think it's finding that trigger and what really will make themselves vulnerable and emotionally. Uh, it's just a tough answer. I don't think anything I say would matter to what somebody else is dealing with somebody else because it's all different situations.
so okay, so I translate a lot, and what I've heard is if you're sitting here right now and you're able to admit you have a problem, seek the help you need for the people that you know you love. And you've got to, I don't know. I don't know. I guess that's really it. I'm just hearing if you guys know you have a problem, even if you're not quite ready to change, you can still start talking about things. You can still see a therapist. Make yourself more self-aware and start taking those baby steps to recovery. I think
And
that's what I
the thing I would say is if somebody comes to you and they have that type of problem, don't be judgmental.
yeah.
Open yourself up to and allow them to talk, right? Because if they're coming to you and talking about it, then they realize they have a problem, and you can't judge them, right? Just be open and show that love and encourage.
Yeah. That is good advice. Um I think I is there anything else that you wanted to touch on that topic? Sorry, I had a lot to say on that. Coming from the other side.
You know, I always love talking to you, Silly. Silly's done my show twice, and it's always been fun.
I just wanted you to I think
Thank
just
you.
upon hearing it and being somebody that was able to find my way out of it, the people that are there that try to help it really does mean a lot because there's not a lot because unfortunately throughout the process we do piss off a lot of people, you know what I mean?
Correct.
So having that one person there that still cares, like my son knows there's doesn't matter what he says to me or what he does, which is why he's so mean to me. I will love him unconditionally for the rest of my life and his life, you know what I'm saying, and past. So and he's the one that saved me. He just doesn't know it. Him and my daughter, I loved them. I realized sitting there one day that I loved them more than I loved the substance, but it took a long time for me to realize that was how it should be, because I
Mm-hmm.
was controlled for so long, and it was just one day I was like, oh my God, my kids can't lose me. I'm all they have. And then, and that of course was shortly after I caused an accident. You know what I'm saying? And that was my rock bottom. And that was my moment where I went, holy crap, I'm either going to hurt someone or I'm going to hurt myself. And
Correct.
I can't live with that. I can't go on living knowing. Like I struggle to live every day with what I've been through and what I did. And it wasn't even that bad. So if I had done something worse, holy cheese and macaroni, you guys. Like I'm just the kind of person that I can't handle knowing that I hurt other people. And that was that was my moment when it got to be where it was physical and not emotional. And then I could see the pain in my kids' eyes. That was my wake up call. That was the moment that I went, oh my God, what am I doing to my family and myself?
Correct.
So
But you
y'all
got to have
have to
that wake up
understand
call.
that when we've all got different types of rock bottoms and we've all got different things that makes us go, oh my God, I can't live like this anymore. But we've got to face it on our own and we've got to figure it out. But knowing that we have somebody in our life, even if we don't communicate a lot, sending a smiley face or a thinking of you or a simple I love you at least a couple times a week, it was one of the things that pushed me. I had one individual that pushed me and sent the reminders and made sure to check in with me, even though we weren't talking because they chose to grow up before I did. They still sent the messages. I ignored them. I ignored every single one. But it started to eventually give me like a little level of guilt, right? Like, they are here. They do care. We haven't spoken in months. Why are you still messaging me? Why do you still care about me? Well, what is it about me that makes you care? Then I realized it's because they do love me. They just didn't love what I was doing.
Yeah, you're exactly right. It's what you said. Yeah, pay attention. Make those little kind comments. Little things do matter. It doesn't have to be a big thing, right? But little things do matter.
Absolutely.
It could
Absolutely
change
do.
somebody's day.
And maybe you send that smiley face when they're about to do, and I had one situation, I was about to do something super stupid and I got an I love you. And I looked at my phone and I looked at the people I was with and I looked at my phone and I looked at the people I was with and I was like, if that's not a effing sign to go home. And I did. I went home. All those people are still in jail today. And this was 20 years ago. Not all of them. I think they got out at like 12 to 15. They were all in a vehicle and they went and did. I didn't even know exactly what they were doing, but that message gave me some type of guilty conscience and I didn't go. And I'm glad because I would have been in the wrong place at the wrong time. So
Right.
just know that sometimes those little messages, it does hit us and it does make us realize. And, you know, yeah, there's things I've done in my lifetime I shouldn't be here, but for whatever reason,
Mm-hmm.
I'm still here. And I feel like it's to let people know that you can be in a bad place and you can find a better place. So, Wild West, before I let you go, can you please tell me a little bit about yourself and when you stream?
I usually stream every night about 7 o'clock to about 10 o'clock, and then on the weekends whenever. I'm trying to get my show featured. Better Than Expected. It's on Sundays at 3 p.m. You've been on it a couple of times.
It's a great show.
Um, yeah, so it's basically a streaming scenarios. I give you scenarios, and you tell me how you would handle it or how you have handled it, and things of that nature. Relationship type of scenarios. It's round table. There's no right or wrong answers. It's just a really good involving conversation. I usually have two guests on it. Like, I think my last show I had you and Uma
Mm-hmm.
on. That was really good. That went really well when I showed it to Chris and Zach. They loved it. Um, yeah, that's on 3 p.m. Eastern on Sundays.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But
I'm
yeah, I'm
fine.
doing a
That's
lot
right
of
when I
different
start
shows.
work every Sunday is at 3 p.m. I'm like, dang it. I'm gonna have
I
to
know.
request a late start so I can be on it again one of these days. Um, so do you have any auctions or battles or any of that stuff coming up?
I'm doing Eddie's auction here, his Halloween auction. Off the top of my head, I don't know what the date is, but I'm doing Bella's Spelling Bee here coming up.
That's a fun show too. I like Bella's
Yeah.
Spelling Bee. Yeah.
I'm doing Kim Possible's show here next
Okay,
week.
okay.
Yeah, I've
Nice.
got several different shows I'm gonna be on and
Okay,
doing.
all right. So do you have your IG account? Do you post these shows on your IG so that they
I'm
can
just
favorite your
starting to put that.
Instagram?
Yeah, I'm just
Okay.
starting. I'm putting that together now.
All
So
right. So
yeah,
guys, make sure you favorite him on his IG and you can, he'll post the flyers on there. You guys can check out the shows he's on. Check out his show. Like he said, Sundays at 3. If you're looking to be on his show, you can hit him up and he can get you on there, I'm sure.
yeah, definitely. I'm working with Emoji J now. That we're gonna put something. Yeah. So Emoji, I appreciate you, brother. What you do on the app, definitely.
I'd be lost without my emoji J, that's for sure. All
Yeah, I really appreciate it.
right, Wild West.
All
Thank you
right.
so much. That was a great topic, and I'm sorry that I talked a lot with you, but I guess I wanted to play the both sides of it. I because your side is so important. But as somebody who's been on the other side, I guess I just wanted you to know that, you're awesome and you're amazing for what you did. So just know that I appreciate you and I respect you. So, guys, we are now going to take the next few minutes to do some self-care, self-love before we get our next guest in the box. There's River, I believe, right? River. I seen you in here. You were in here somewhere. She'll be next. There you are. Yes. Okay. Hi, guys. So this is a little self-care, self-love segment, and then River will get you in here shortly after. My first question for y'all is, what have you done for yourself today? There's two questions I ask like every week, or a question and a statement that I give y'all every week. And then I switch up the rest. But what have y'all done for yourself today? Jay says, I woke up. And guys, welcome to Lessons Learned. I'm Silly Lily. We meet here every Friday, 10 to 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And this is being a featured show. I cannot interact with everybody one-on-one. I'm not able to react to gifts or to favorites. So thank you for the gifts. Thank you for the favorites, everybody. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Ooh, iced coffee sounds good. You got out of bed early. I stayed in bed longer. I was like, oh, another half hour. I hit that snooze button like 6 times today. I'm not kidding, man. I didn't have to get up. I was like, I didn't want to get up when I got up. I was like, I could probably lay in here another hour, get up at 9, but I got up. It was took a long shower. Ooh, thank you, Kelly. Question number 2. What was the last thing you did for someone else? Ooh, good one, Ace. Listen, Ace, you had a lot of really good points in there too today. So thank you for being here, everybody. But Ace had some good things, and I like I said, I can't interact one-on-one the whole time when my guests are in the box, especially. So everyday cooking, right? Oh, you fixed sprinklers. Nice. I would say that I give back. Last time I gave back was it's I help every day at work, Sorry, that child of mine is still not up, and it is 10:30 in the morning, and she is going to want to stay at my aunt's, and she's going to stay up all night, and so she's not going to be allowed to stay there. She's going to stay home, so I know she goes to bed. Otherwise, she won't sleep Sunday night. Ay, ay, ay. You help your friend clean her house. You brought a friend dinner. Oh, no, Boop. They had some, I don't even remember what they call it, but so I got to sleep in. Now, I ain't mad about that. I ain't mad about that at all. Next question is, what do you love most about your personality? What do you love most about your personality? Ace says his energy. I'm gonna say my I don't know. My ability to accept, I think. Kindness, hilarious, making other people smile. She has a good heart. Empathy and strides to keep going. Forgiving. Ooh, so fancy. Let's talk about forgiving for a minute. So you guys, do you understand when you forgive somebody, it's not for them, right? You forgive them for yourself. So if you're stuck and you don't have the desire to forgive somebody, you've got to forgive them for yourself. Oh, it absolutely is fancy. And I'll argue that until I'm blue in the face. And I'll pull up research too. And you don't have to forget, but you have to forgive. Forgiving and forgetting are two completely different things. But in order for you to move on, you have to forgive, even when they don't deserve it. Right? You can forgive and not forget. but you cannot forget, but you cannot not forgive. And like I said, even when they don't deserve it, you have to for your own sanity. Because I didn't forgive people for things they did to me for a long time. And it ate at me and ate at me and ate at me and ate at me. And it made me angrier and angrier and angrier because I just didn't know how to forgive. I hold grudges. I still do. But every grudge I hold and every time I can't forgive somebody for what they did, it literally destroys me. It doesn't destroy them. They don't give two craps. They done moved on. Whatever they did to me, they don't even think about anymore. While I'm over here losing valuable time with family and friends and my business, moping and crying and being mad. So, um, y'all remember, forgive for yourself. All right, self-care tips. Who wants to guess what the first tip is? Drink your damn water. Drink your water, you guys. I'm totally not following this like this last couple days. I have drinking too much soda. So we are gonna definitely, so normally I'm really good about it, but the last couple weeks it's like I just don't care. I haven't cared to drink my water. But drink water. Don't drink purified water. Drink at least spring water. And if you guys don't understand why you shouldn't drink purified water, go ahead and ask me why, and I will explain it. But if you explain it, I won't make others listen to it again. Practice self-talk, like positive self-talk. Don't talk down about yourself. Having positive self-talk is one of the ultimate forms of self-care because it shows that you love yourself, like my daughters taught me a lot about this because when I say something negative about myself and my appearance, she hears it. And then now she begins to judge herself because I've judged myself. So I am 100%, even though I'm not, confident in who I am as I am because she needs that. I mean, I do too, right? So yes, Miss Kimberly, and because Duck asked, we're gonna do this, and then we're gonna let Miss River in the. Oh my God, it's 10:44. We're gonna let Miss River in the box now. I thought it was 10:34. Let's go, River. We can go past 11. It's okay. Hi, honey. I thought that was. Or I was trying to kill 3 more minutes, and here I'm behind.
Oh, that's okay. I'm so here for it.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
After River, guys, ask me to tell you about the water, and I will, because it'll blow your minds. So River, let's just thank you for being here. First of all, I appreciate you, and I'm excited to get to meet you. Let's jump right in. What are we going to be discussing today, darling?
So today I'd like to, if it's okay with you, I'd like to touch on two things.
Okay, absolutely.
I first and foremost, I want to talk about freedom and forgiveness.
Okay, let's do it.
All right. So you were talking about forgiveness and how freeing that is for you, and it's so true that it is the only way that I know that I have personally found to move forward after something bad has happened. And I really want to hit on how important it is to truly forgive yourself, not just for a present moment, but for your past you as well. We all do really bad things when we're down in our lowest moments, and that's okay. It's what you do after that matters.
Yes. Exactly. 100% exactly. 100%.
Now, one thing, this is just a tip and trick that I use for mourning, grief, sorrow, anger, any excessive emotion that I have, I do the 7-day rule.
Okay. What is the 7-day rule?
Okay, so the 7-day rule is you've got 7 whole days to kick and scream and cry and cuss and act a fool or whatever it is you choose to do. But after 7 days, you got to get back up. Set an alarm on your phone because after 7 days, you have to get back up and get moving, get back into your routine. Because after that, you're just wallowing.
Right. Right. So Miss Kimberly, I don't think anybody gets rid of the grief of losing anybody they love. It's just
No.
time helps heal wounds, and you learn to adapt and adjust and accept. But you will never rid the grief. The grief will never go. The sadness will never go. My papa's been gone for almost 23 years, and I miss him every day still. Not any less than the day before. But I can talk about him because I've accepted it. It's a matter of learning to accept it that helps you put it behind you. Like I can talk about all the stuff that I've been through without losing it. Now, don't get me wrong. Sometimes I will cry because sometimes it hits me harder. Sometimes, female hormones make you cry even when you don't normally cry. Like sometimes, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes it just hits different. But people go, well, if all this stuff happened to you, how can you talk about it? Because I've accepted that I can't go back and change it. But I've also accepted that my sharing it might help somebody.
Would it be acceptable to say also it's because you've practiced? Because I lost my mom 2 years ago this past August. And it is it's one of those things, I'm not okay and I'll never be okay again. And I'm so glad but to have had a love to have touched my life so deeply as a mother's love that I will never be the same without it. That I take great pride in knowing that I was loved by her deeply. Oh man. See, I'm 2 years in, I'm still emotional and it's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. That just means you loved them.
Yeah. And Kimberly, like I said, it's been 23 years and I still have times where I cry and it's hard. Y'all gonna make me cry, River. Stop. Yeah. I gotta laugh it off or I'm gonna start crying. I'm an awkward when it gets awkward, I giggler. So I don't
Hey,
take
that's
that
okay.
personally.
Listen.
I awkward giggle, so I don't cry.
That is perfectly fine. Don't you dare cry.
But I cry a lot. It's never leaves us. And when you lose somebody you love, it takes that little piece with you with them. They take that little piece of you with them. But here's the thing is it is a circle of life. You know what I mean? And sometimes we lose people too soon. But like she said, it's better to, and someone asked me this question the other day, and this is why it's still so fresh in my mind, is it better to love and to lose, or to never be loved so you don't have to lose? And I said it's better to love and to lose.
Love and
because
to lose
there's nothing better in life than being loved. And when you miss somebody so much, it just means that they were that amazing to you.
That's right.
So don't feel like tears are bad. It's okay.
Yeah.
Everything is okay.
That's right.
And everybody
okay
heals at different paces.
Yeah. And I'm so glad you mentioned that because it, I hate that happened, but I really am personally glad that y'all mentioned that because that it ties it all back to forgiveness because I know a lot of my hurt comes from regret. You know, I wasn't this or I was that. And hi, my name's River. I'm also a recovering addict. So I was a really bad person for a really large number of years, but I'm not anymore. And that's
We
the
can
thing.
change. We can change,
We can change.
but you can't make us change. We have to
No,
want to do it.
we're some
So,
of the most stubborn people in the
River, fist
world.
bump, because we did it. Bam!
Yeah. Woo. Yes. Oh man, I'm
Yeah.
so glad. Out of curiosity, do you know how many years you've got under your belt?
So I still drink and stuff once in a while, but
Oh, I still drink too.
I've not touched those substances in at
Right.
least a decade. It's maybe
Wow.
12 years maybe at this point, 12, 13 years. I don't know exactly, but I then started drinking too heavily about 10 years ago and found myself in a little more trouble 11 years
Yeah.
ago, maybe. So
Mhm.
it's been about 10 years since I'd say about 10 years since I've gotten my whole life back on track. I went 4 years
Wow.
sober as could be. But during that
Congratulations.
time, I did do AA. And I know some of you guys are like, oh my God, AA is a cult. No, AA makes you feel your emotions without having to see a therapist that costs you a ton of money.
I'll tell you what is cult-like about
They
it and what I
saved
had to
my life.
learn.
AA saved my life.
AA is amazing. It is an amazing program. However, what I experienced was my first AA meeting was held in a church, and they talked about a lot about God, which there is nothing wrong with religious-based programs. I just did not know that I was walking into one,
Right.
and I'm not.
So so AA is huge, but the AA that I did never said God. They said your higher power. There was
Yes.
always a higher power. Because like I said, I don't know that I can believe in one person to fix my life. Now, I believe in Mother Nature. So I go outside and I pray to her. I know
Yes.
that it sounds silly, but talking to her, because nature is where I'm most comfortable. Nature is where I'm okay. So I'll sit down and talk to a dang tree and I won't think twice about it. And I'll sit there on a rock by a river and I'll talk to a tree or I'll talk to the rock
Mhm.
or I'll talk to the water. But the point is I'm getting it out and I'm talking to somebody about whatever, you know?
Exactly.
And I probably look really crazy if anybody starts walking by. Sometimes I'm like, I don't know why,
Screaming at a tree, like, why?
But I'd rather scream at the tree than my kids. You feel me? So when
I
I
know
would
it.
feel it pent up and I could feel it building up, that's how I would go and that's what I would do to feel better. And I know it's silly, but it worked. And there's ways for
You know
everybody
what?
to release it, you know?
That's your therapy, though. That's your therapy, and I support it. I am so here for it, and I'm so glad that you found something that works for you.
Thank you.
Speaking of which, though, I do have therapy here in like 7 minutes.
Okay.
It's an over the phone session, and I love my therapy sessions.
Mhm.
Um,
I miss mine.
I would highly recommend getting a therapist, a good one that you vibe with at any time, at any
Yes, ma'am.
time. Um, but I I wanted to let you know that I probably got to hop off sooner than
That's
later.
okay. No, that's okay. I understand. I mean, you said you wanted to touch base on a second thing. We still got a few minutes. I won't kick you out till 11 when you got to
Okay.
go because we got a late start and that was my fault and I apologize.
No, honey,
Um,
you are perfectly fine. I've been loving every minute of your show.
Thank you. Thank you. There are programs for people who have to deal with the alcoholics too, because when you're
Mhm.
stuck on that other end, it's not easy. I've been on both sides. And I
Yes.
can tell you from being on both sides, they both suck.
They do, but one thing that I've learned is how to drink because no one ever taught me how to drink, so I drank in excess.
Mm-hmm.
But through loving, caring people in my life, um, I uh, I learned how to have a drink and put it down.
Yeah.
how to have
Now,
a
some
drink with
people
dinner.
can't do that though. Some people can't.
Exactly.
So it's like I said, that's a different path for everybody. I can have 2 glasses of wine and put it down today.
You're right.
8 years ago, I couldn't have a glass of wine and put it down.
No.
I couldn't. So I just didn't drink. I knew. So it's, you know, and a lot of people, once you get sober, you can't ever drink again. You can't ever do anything like that again. But my problem wasn't drinking. I mean,
Yeah.
I did drink too much after whatever because I quit other stuff,
Yeah.
but it all dwelled down to masking feelings I didn't want to face because I was angry and selfish.
Yes. Yes. But you know what? You know what? One of
God,
the
that sucks
hardest
to say.
things that you have to do in life, if you want to evolve, I like to think about it as like a Pokemon, you know. If you want to become Charizard, then you have got to face yourself in the mirror. You've got to face yourself and deal with who you really are,
Yep.
who you've really been, and who you really want to be. Because that third one, that is so attainable. It is so attainable.
Yeah. It's I think it's crazy to me
Mm.
how easy it was once I finally accepted that, yay, thank you, that that I was my problem. I had unresolved issues. I had things that I didn't accept in my life, and I had people that I couldn't forgive
Yeah.
for things they did to me. And it wasn't until I sat down and I said, you know what? I'm so mad and I don't even know why. And
Yes.
it was in that moment that I was like, my God, I'm sitting here yelling and being angry at everybody for what? They said hi and handed me a plate of pizza and I'm, you know, because I'm just like, God, this is exhausting. I can't live like this anymore. I am exhausted being angry all the time. And I was, and it controlled me.
I'm going to tell you what worked for me. 2 psychotic breaks later, after staying in a hospital for the equivalency of over almost 2 months, including both stays. It took me getting my medicine right. I'm choosing to do it with meds. And it took me getting stable on my meds and doing therapy that really changed my life. I started writing. I started journaling. I started doing more with my music, my art.
Are you hearing this? Is this a deja vu for some of you every week? Are you hearing her? See, I'm not crazy. She's repeating me.
and I've never really seen this before, okay? This is my first rodeo, y'all. If I'm repeating something that she is saying, that
it might work.
It might work.
It might just work.
And for the love of God, y'all drink your water.
Drink your water. I love you, River.
But it's about that time, girl. So I'm going to hop off here real quick, okay?
Thank you, River. Guys, make sure you favorite her. Check her out. Get her IG favorited. And River, I will see you soon, love. Thank you.
Thank you.
Jay, we got to get her back on where she can go first. And I don't take up half of her dang time. We got to get her back, though, Jay. Here we go. There you guys go. Oh, well, it's okay.